Hey, what's up everybody? This is Kalen from White Glove Models. Welcome back to the channel. And believe it or not, today we are actually going to get started on the Land Rover Series III 109. So as most of you know, this is a build that I've been very eager to get started. The Land Rover Series III 109 is one of my favorite vehicles ever made. And if I was to ever get my hands on a real one, I'm basically building this kit the way I would want that one to look. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of mods to it, but there are a few different things, and you'll see those here in just a second. But I'm also not going to spend a lot of time doing a lot of detail on it. I'm going to build this kit right out of the box for the most part, and basically just build it up the way that I would want mine to look, because I am going to be building this same kit by Revell again, and that one's going to be going into a diorama, and pretty excited to do a little bit more detail work on the second one that I do. I don't know if Revell Germany is going to carry on producing this particular mold, but I really hope they do, because I'll tell you what, this Revell kit is by far as good as any Tamiya kit you could ever get. It's gone together brilliantly. There's been the instructions are sometimes a little bit confusing because there's a lot. They throw a lot at you in just one little section sometimes, and sometimes it's not very clear where certain things go. So I will have a few questions for those of you out there that do or have owned Land Rover Series 3s, because for instance, the battery box, we'll get to that in a minute. But there's a few different things that I have some questions on, and thank you to all those in the Facebook groups that I'm with that have answered some of those questions that I haven't been able to find on Google. Thank you so much for your input, and it has definitely been a lot of fun this week putting this one together, and let's just go ahead and show you what we've got. All right, guys, so this is basically everything that is on the bench right now. So I do want to give a quick shout out to model making guru Fox. He had a Land Rover Series 3, and he absolutely loved that vehicle, probably as much as I love him, and I haven't even owned one. I'd love to own one, but he had one, and he showed us pictures of it that were in a magazine, and he kind of, when he found out that I was building it, his heart kind of sank a bit, because he really does miss his. And so I have decided I'm going to be calling this build the Foxy Land Rover. So there you go, Fox. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and build it with the right-hand drive, and I want to just kind of keep everything fairly simple. So one of the things I did, I went through and made sure that I blocked off anything that I didn't need to do that was for the left-hand drive. And also there were a few other, the big thing was the seats. So I'm going to pull over these seat parts for you guys real quick and let you see them. So this is the seat setup that I ended up going with. And as you can see, this is 3 separate seats for the rear. The front on both versions had 3 separate seats. I'll show you the rear seat for the other option, and that's where I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what seats were particular for any particular version of this. It wasn't very clear on that, but I liked the way the other one looked, and based on some reference photos. So these are the front seats. There's 3 of these, and they're just smooth. But anyway, and all the reference photos that I tried to find, it was hard to tell what was available for the British version, or if it was just a standard thing or whatnot. So I don't know. But this is essentially what I ended up going with, and I'm really happy with how that's going to look. Now, the back of these benches on this build, it does have a backrest, but I didn't realize before I glued these down that they needed to be pushed all the way forward. So if you see right here, it could have come all the way forward to that lip, because on this side, I haven't taped it up for painting yet. But on the back side, there's a notch here, which your little pillar right here. So this is for the sidewall, or I don't know what you'd call it, but the side of the door panels and all that. But that is supposed to fit in that notch. Well, I screwed up and went ahead and glued it down and pushed it all the way back, thinking that it would be best if it was pushed all the way back. Well, now this isn't going to fit right. So I'm going to kind of sort that out as I go along. I'll probably show you guys what I do to fix that. It's not going to be anything big or too special on this build, because this is basically going to just be built the way that I would want it. It's not going to be a showpiece or anything. This is my Land Rover Foxy, so I'm just going to do her the way that I would want it built. So anyways, that was kind of the decisions that I had to make before really putting it together, was just even what seats I wanted, because that completely would base the entire build on how it would look and which options you were going to go with. So I did that, and a few other things here in the destructions were they want you to put the engine in. I'm waiting on that because I'm going to be painting it, and I'll show you guys the engine and transfer case right here. There was no flash whatsoever on this, and it turned out very nice. And I can't wait to get some paint on this. I'll probably be painting it this weekend, hopefully on Sunday. And you guys will get to see that in my next progress report and kind of see what it looks like with paint on it. So very excited about that. Overall, everything was going together pretty quickly and easily until I ran into a few little hiccups in it. The fit on everything is just outstanding. I can't say enough as to how happy I was with this. Now, the thing that did give me a bit of a hiccup was that rear seat. When I went to try to test fit everything, I should have test fit the sides before putting the back seats in, but I hadn't removed them from the sprues, because my original intention was these side panels right here, they were on a sprue, and I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and paint them on the sprue, so I didn't take them off. Well, it was once I started actually working on these a little bit, and I realized, oh crap, I screwed up. And oh well, it is what it is. It's my kit. It's not going to be, in any magazines or anything like that. So I'll be able to fix it, still make it look pretty and all that. And overall, very, very happy. The other thing that I had a few concerns about was, let's see, here we go, the front bumper. So when it comes in the kit, there is a license plate tab that is attached right here at the top, and they tell you to remove it for version B, which is essentially, I guess, what I'm building is version B, and to leave it on for version A, which was the German version. Well, in all of my reference photos that I have, it's hit or miss. Even the American ones, sometimes they'll still have that plate on up there, and I kind of wish I had left it on for that reason, because I had to drill these holes for the new license plate bracket, which, if I can pick it up here, looks just like this, and after everything's painted up and all that, it'll just pop into those holes there. So I don't know. It is what it is now, so it's going to have a British plate on it, and that's where it came into the rear of the vehicle as well, was placement of the rear license plate. Now, I don't have this glued down. I could pop this off, but it was like, okay, you could either put it here or here, and I don't know in the UK how the rear license plates are, if they're that, that longer version or not, or if that's just on the front, but that wasn't even an option. You just got this plate bracket there, and you could either put it on either side. So this is this is something I actually created and added to this car because here's another thing. So this particular model, when you build it, they want you to drill 2 holes into the top here, and I filled it with putty. I still haven't sanded it down yet, but you drill 2 holes in the top of the secondary roof, which goes on here, and the spare tire goes there. Personally, I don't like that. I haven't actually, I've seen very few Land Rovers with the spare tire up on top like that. Most people either attach it to the back of the rig or it's inside in the rear there. The other option is to put it on the hood. So what I did was I noted not to drill those holes because I had to drill all these other holes as well for the roof rack, which will be going on later. And what I ended up doing was I drilled couple of holes here into the hood, and now my spare tire, once everything is painted up, will just pop right in, and it'll be in the hood, which it's not the most practical thing from what I've been told, because Fox was saying if you had to open up the hood or bonnet, whatever you choose to call it, you would have to remove the tire in order to raise it because the tire would hit the windshield, and it as you can see, it would. So it's not practical, but it looks cool. And if I owned a Land Rover Series III, I would be putting maybe the hood on, or the tire on the hood. It does obstruct your view a little bit. But one other thing that I always thought was kind of cool, and what looked cool on a lot of the versions of the Land Rovers that I've seen for sale, was some people had added a rear tire to the back. And when I was looking at how to accomplish this, basically the tire was just sitting way too close to the door, and I didn't like the look of it. And practicality wise, if that's even a word, but if you were to open up the rear door, it seemed to me like it would rub or hit the corner of this pillar right here, and it just wouldn't open up. So what I ended up doing was out of some extra sprue pieces that I had, I created this little bracket, and then I screwed it. I glued it down to the body of the back door there, and now I can just pop my tire on, and I've got a spare tire on the rear as well, which personally I think looks pretty cool. I do feel like it might stick out a little further than it needs to, but if you're going to be using the rig, you got to be able to open up that door. Now you can actually reach in there and open it up. So anyways, that's one of those little extra things that I did. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time detailing the body, just because if I start scribing this, it's going to become one of those projects that just goes way out of hand. And for me, just building this one for fun, and for my personal collection, I just want to build it quick, easy, out of the box for the most part, and the way that I would want it to look if this was sitting in my driveway. So there is the body, and the hood can go on there. But I'm really, really impressed with this so far. Another thing that I have a question for you guys, because here, let me show you. All right, so here in the instruction booklet, they're telling you to see if that can focus. So they tell you that is the battery, and they're just basically saying go throw it on the side of the wall right there. So in all reality, it looks like they have you just throwing it on right here, and I will explore this more when it comes time to mount it. because then I'll have everything kind of put together. But there really, to me, there doesn't seem to be any bracket or anything for it to go on, and it didn't look like it was up here in the image, up towards the front where there is a bracket, but I do believe something else goes there. So for those of you that know, that have built this, where are you mounting the bracket? Are you just throwing it on the side right there and just adhering it with glue to the side wall of the fender there? So that's another oddball thing that I thought was interesting, because they do a really good job everywhere else of telling you where to put stuff and all that. Anyways, so yeah, this kit comes with 3 different mirrors. So there's 3 different mirror options, and I chose to go with the ones that kind of pop into the door right there, to the door frame. Here we have this is kind of more of the dashboard right here, and that's something else. So with this kit, because I chose to go with the right-hand drive, you'd think they would have sent you 2 different steering columns, but they only sent this one. And the way that it was placed, so the turn signal indicator, which is this guy right there, was over on this side. And that did make sense. It was kind of jammed up into the console there and hitting the buttons, and it just did not look right. And when I referenced all the photos, even on the right-hand drive, the turn signal the indicator switch was on the left-hand side of the steering column. So I just snipped that off and ended up just gluing it back on the other side there, trying to make it look as best as I could. And then you've got some more engine compartment details. These will be seen in the engine compartment when this goes into place, just right here. So you'll see those. And overall, this has been a lot of fun to build, and I'm eager to get it finished. Loads and loads of parts that came with this kit. The build instructions before you install the rest of the chassis and suspension here, they want you to install your exhaust. And I can understand why, because this is going to be a pain in the butt to get in here and twist it around and all that after it's painted. But yeah, it just seemed a lot easier in the long run to do these parts separately. And then after it's painted and clear coated and all that, I will try to squeeze this in here as best as I can without damaging it. If I have to end up snipping this and putting everything together and then re-gluing that together, that's no big deal. But overall, that's basically that with the chassis. Everything looks really brilliant. I'm very happy with it so far. And all of this area taped off is where there's going to be glue points. I just don't want any primer or paint getting on any of these glue points. So some people don't do it, or they'll just scrape it off an area that's going to be glued. But I like to take that little extra step and tape things off. It does take a lot of time, but to me it's worth it. And then it just cuts down on how much scraping I have to do in the long run. And kind of do as you can see, the same thing with, like here we have the underside. This is where the chassis will be mounting. And I just, taped off all those sections. I still have some more tape to do, but there's that. And on these side pillars, kind of the same deal, with just where I don't want paint is basically what I end up doing. And it's a little tedious, but for me, it's definitely worth the effort. Well, that's everything I've got for you guys this week on Foxy, the Land Rover. Thank you, Fox, the model making guru, for sharing those photos with me. as well as also just want to thank you for helping out Colin's channel, Festa's Workshop, and for filling in, keeping that seat warm, and keeping the rest of us entertained. And also to all of the other new friends I've made out there over on the model making network that we have. If you are interested in becoming a member of the group, you can head over to Festa 67's workshop, and there is a link to the Facebook group there. I'll try to find a link and put it into my description as well. A lot of great people and great builders over there in that Facebook group, and you get to see some pretty cool builds. Plus, you get to have fun working with other people, and chatting while you're doing your builds. And I've learned a lot from these people, and they're great, a great group of people to kind of hang out with on their live streams and stuff like that. Thanks again for watching, guys. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. What it does, just gives you a notification whenever I drop a new video. And other than that, appreciate you guys out there, and keep building, and I'll see you next time. Another sip of coffee. I'm not ready. Stand by. This is a Revell 1/24 skit. Uno se capo. This is a 1/24 kit scale. Get out a shot. There. This is a Revell 1/24 kit or scale kit. I'm back. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, so I'm going to shut up and start over. No, anyways. Okay, for reals this time, this is the one, yo.